Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we take a look at three college football best bets with Brian Edwards, two in the SEC and one in the Big 12. And we'll start in Baton Rouge on Saturday, Brian. LSU and Ole Miss. The Tigers coming off a big win at Florida. Ole Miss remains unbeaten. Brian Kelly's team now a short favorite at home. Who do you like here between the Tigers and the Rebels?
I like LSU. Ole Miss has had a nice 7-game run. I thought they had a great chance to start 7-0. That's why I bet their win total over 7.5. But now they get to the heart of the schedule. I think LSU got a real confidence building win against Florida. Jaden Daniels was, by far at his best that we've seen him all year. Yeah, and Tiger Stadium, tough place to play. And look, I think Ole Miss is ready to lose a game, and I think they will at LSU. Go Tigers!
All right, now let's look at another 3:30 game, this time in the Big 12 between Oklahoma State and Texas. And Mike Gundy's Cowboys, tough one to swallow last week, blowing that game to TCU, losing in overtime. And now they return home to face Texas. And the Longhorns continue to play well. Granted, they snuck by Iowa State last week, but they blew out Oklahoma a few weeks ago. Steve Sarkisian getting the Longhorns back on track. Texas a favorite here. Who do you like between Oklahoma State and Texas?
I like Oklahoma State. They have won, let's see, 10, 11, 12. They have won 12 in a row at home, and they are 15-1 at home in their last 16. That's straight up, but they're underdogs here. And their last loss at home was an overtime game to Texas, where they lost by 7 in overtime. But it's 6.5. You can buy the half point to the key number of 7. I still like it if it's just plus 6. But yeah, they were in control of that game. We're out to a 24-7 lead at still undefeated TCU. So we get Oak State in bounce back mode here. Now it's Tuesday. So obviously, the injury situations. Look, Spencer Sanders did not leave the game the other day. Molly McGrath asked a question to Gundy pregame on live on the air or like 20 minutes before kick. And he was said that Sanders did not practice last week. Well, he looked great most of the game. I watched a good bit of the first half. Second half. I had it in front of me, but I was mostly watching Alabama, Tennessee. So I think rumors of Sanders' injury. I'm speculating. It's Tuesday, but I think he'll be fine. And as long as he's fine, I think Oklahoma State has a great chance to win this game. Now, look, I like what Texas is doing. They could easily be undefeated if Ewers did not get that shoulder injury. But they were not in top form last week. Now, credit Iowa State's defense for a lot of that. But yeah, Oak State at home as a home dog. It's the first time that they have been a home dog since 2019. In that, actually, it wasn't that game to Texas, but it was in 2019, like I just said. But anyway, Oklahoma State is 3-1 against the spread in their last last 4 as a home dog. This is too many points. I think it's a toss-up game in terms of who wins outright, not against the Oak State plus 200 money line. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, and also a couple other notes from this game, Brian, that maybe Texas was in a bit of the sandwich spot off the Oklahoma game, and then Oklahoma State on deck last week against Iowa State. And even with the Cowboys, that's now their third time they're being listed as an underdog in conference play. They beat Baylor on the road. They lost the TCU game but covered, so we'll see what they do here against Texas on Saturday. Now we go to two SEC heavyweights, and that being Missouri and Vanderbilt, as they meet up in Columbia. And interestingly enough, Vandy, who had a good start to the season, did get punched in the mouth a few times the last few weeks. Granted, you're playing Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, but they were blown out in all those games. Missouri hasn't won an SEC game yet, but also they've covered the last 3, and the last one against Florida at the Swamp that they lost to, that one is double-digit dogs. So Missouri, a 2-touchdown favorite here against Vandy. What do you like?
Yeah, I'll go with Missouri minus 14. They've had 2 weeks to prepare, so the spot is very favorable. If anybody needed an open date, it was certainly Missouri after losing just three complete, just soul crushing heartbreakers. They totally outplayed Florida in the swamp, lose by 7. They had like 5 or 6 different plays they didn't make at the end of regulation and in overtime. That they make one of those plays, they win at Auburn, and then they led Georgia almost the entire game, led by double digits a good chunk of that game. And their best receiver, Dominic Lovett, got injured, and the offense kind of went cold there late, and the defense that had played marvelous all night, tired. But credit to Eli Drinkwitz. Was able to get his team ready to play in each of those spots when they were coming off unfathomable losses. I mean, he had them ready to go against Georgia after the just crushing heartbreaker at Auburn, and then somehow he had them ready to go again the next week at Florida. So now after an open date, I think they're ready to get some frustration out, and I think Missouri puts it on Vandy pretty good. I'll lay the 14.
All right, so to recap the 3 selections from Brian Edwards for Week 8 in college football, Brian is on LSU money line against Ole Miss. Also, he's taking the points with Oklahoma State at home against Texas, and he's going to lay the points with Missouri at home against Vanderbilt. And Brian, before we let you go, tell the listeners about your college football podcast, The Vegas Insider.
Yeah, the Bet CFB pod number 19 dropped this morning. It normally drops Monday mornings, but we were all out of town this weekend, so it dropped this morning, recapping the Week 7 action. And we'll have another one previewing the Week 8 games with picks and opinions galore, and that will be Thursday morning. Bet CFB pod. Check it out twice a week. Normally drops Monday mornings and Thursday mornings. So please please check it out.
That is Brian Edwards. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, best of luck with your bets.